Hi all. Recently, I'm doing a lot of things in MCP server, right? Um, yes, recently, from Cloudflare, they have announced a new method of implementing MCP servers. Like usually, we will enable tools like which AI agents can call in order to make an API call to the backend server. பட் த ப்ராப்ளம் இஸ் நீங்கள் எவ்வளோ டூல் வந்து ஆட் பண்ணுறீங்களோ அந்த கான்டெக்ஸ்ட் விண்டோ ஆஃப் ஏஐ இருக்குல்ல அது வந்து இட் கீப்ஸ் ஆன் இன்க்ரீஸிங் எவ்ரி டைம். ஸோ ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் இஃப் ஐ வாண்ட் டு ஆட் அ டயக்ராம் scalar draw. ஸோ if I go over here, let's say ஒரு ஏஐக்கு ஒரு கான்டெக்ஸ்ட் விண்டோ இருக்கும். ஸோ இதுக்கு மேலே தே கான்ட் ஆட் அப் த கான்டெக்ஸ்ட், ரைட்? ஸோ இப்போ நம்ம எம்சிபி சர்வீஸ் யூஸ் பண்ணுறப்போ ஒவ்வொரு டூலும் வில் ஹாவ் a small size in the context window. ஸோ ஒரு குறிப்பிட்ட லெவலுக்கு மட்டும்தான் we can add tools. Okay, so this everything is a tool. Let's consider like 200k tokens, something like this. But இப்போ Cloudflare மாதிரி ஒரு பிக் ஆர்கனைசேஷனுக்கு வந்து நிறைய ஏபிஐ கால்ஸ் இருக்கும், நிறைய டூல்ஸ் இருக்கும், நிறைய கான்டெக்ஸ்ட் ப்ரொவைட் பண்ணணும். ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி சுச்சுவேஷனில் வந்து இந்த கான்டெக்ஸ்ட் விண்டோவே வந்து ஃபில் ஆயிரும், கரெக்டாக? ஸோ ஐ திங்க் ஒரு ஸ்டாட்டிஸ்டிக்ஸ் இருந்துச்சு, லெட் மீ ஷோ யூ. இட் வாஸ் வெரி குட். தெர் வாஸ் எ டேபிள். அந்த டேபிளில் they were explaining, I could not find it over here, but on the table they were explaining like how efficient it would be by using code mode. Code mode ingredi, it's nothing but instead of adding multiple tools, there is only two tools. Okay, veru rendu tool vechi we can implement everything. Let me explain it. So there is a tool called search and there is a tool called execute. Executing it's a isolated Python environment where the code can be executed. It's like something like a Docker container, right? You run up the Docker that has all the dependencies and the code is provided by the AI agent. Very, very interesting. So currently I don't have a proper implementation. We don't have a proper how to say, like the proper framework for implementing this, but this is my own version. Like this is how I designed it. So let's say like we have an AI agent, right? We have a AI agent. So previously we had multiple tools inside the MCP servers that makes a call to the API backend, right? Instead of it, we'll just add two tools. We have only two tools. One is called the search, okay, and other one is called as execute. So searching it's like a blueprint for APIs. Like this is the API, is it a get or post API? What parameters should we pass to this? What is the response schema? Or what does this API does? So in the Madhu, it's like a menu card for a list of tools or list of API calls that you can make. So when you prompt the AI, like do something, okay? So this is going to be the user is going to prompt something, and this AI agent is going to call this search tool and gets back it's like a menu card, right? All the blueprints of the APIs. So what does the API requires, what it does, what it responds. It's like a menu card or a blueprint for an entire set of API calls that are available in the backend side. So it analyzes, okay, this is the requirement, so I have to make a call to this tool. So I will create the code, a request fetch or request code that makes an API call to the backend, right? To the backend. Let's consider there is a backend. So in our case, it's going to be the EBDN backend. EBDNS, Electronic Bunker Delivery Node Service. So here we have a bunch of API endpoints. Let's say, like for example, we have an endpoint called summary, and we have an API called status. So we'll work on these two APIs for now. So we have two endpoints. This search will provide us these two endpoints are available to you, to AI to call these two APIs. Now what happens after is the AI will generate the code to make an API request to this endpoints, and this code will be executed in an isolated environment, in an isolated isolated environment, Python development environment. Here we are using the Docker. We have already installed the required modules. For example, it requires the request Python module in order to make an API call. So it's been already installed in the container, right, where the code is being executed. So the AI will make a, it will generate the code. Usually what happens is inside the tool we have to provide the code to call the backend, right? But this case the AI will generate the API code, API call code, and it will be executed in this execution dependencies or execution environment. So this will make a call to the API, and the response will be inputted to the AI agent. So that's how it works. Very interesting. uh, like we are pushing lot of work into the AI. Previously we were the one who is to code this part, this code part we have to do manually using the tools, MCP tools. But now we are going to provide an environment where I hope I'm still live. For some reason my OBS is getting stuck. Yeah, this is what happening. Usually what happens is we will be the one who will code. As a developer we are the one who code the MCP servers, or the tools that enables the AI to call the backend. But here AI will create the code that is required to make a backend request, and we are going to provide an environment where this code can be executed using this execute. Only two tools: one, the search tool, which gives the blueprint of all the APIs that are available, and second thing is an execution tool which allows the AI generated code to be executed, which makes a call to the backend. Yes, I hope this is clear. So here you can find the code. There are two tools. One is a search tool, and other one is a execution tool. So execution tool is very interesting part. It's very interesting part. So here we are using the Docker. So inside the Docker container we are using an image called AI executed with tool, so which I have built. It has a simple Python installed, and also a dependencies for request dependencies, and then work directory of app. So here you can see the backend environment. So we are including the environment file, the backend URL, which is going to be the server which I'm running over here. Yeah, remove is too true. Like once after execution, this Docker container will be removed, or the Docker dependencies or the environment will be removed by itself, and that's it. Like we're just running the Python code that is an input to this tool, which is being generated from the AI. So that's everything over here. Yes. So without delay, we will go for the demo purpose. Let me open the Claude. Uh, we have the Claude. I have already configured the Claude. Now you could find only two tools inside the Claude. What are the two tools? One is the search tool, which gives all the um, I don't know, for some reason Claude is not opening. Is my Claude already up? I'm running a lot of servers, so that's why it's a bit slow. To be frank, it's very slow. I'm running Docker, I'm running servers, MCP servers, backend servers, and all the blockchain node. There's a lot going on over here, so that's why it's a bit slow. It's okay, that's fine. Now you can see, like, this is going to be the client part, and inside the server part we have two tools. One is the search tool, which gets all the what to say, like, all the APIs. uh, we can consider it as a blueprint, and then we have the execution tool, where the code that's been generated from the AI is going to be uh, run, and this is going to make a call to the backend with the blueprint or with the context that's been provided by the search tool. So let's say, like, can you uh, get the summary of EBDNS? So this is going to make a call to the search, and it's going to get the context, like whether we have an API call or API spec or a API endpoint that gets back the summary. Once it found, it's going to create a code, and it's going to make a call to the execution tool, where the code is going to be executed, which makes a call to the backend, and it responds back, and this response is going to be again processed by the AI, and it's going to be outputted. So let's see, like, now it should make two tool calls. So here you can see, like, it's calling the search functionality. Oh shit. Substrate. Yes, here you can find, we have, it's the Cloud wants to use the search for the EBTN manager. So now I'm going to enter S. Now it's going to get all the API specs. So what does the API does, what is the input that if we have to pass to the API, what is going to be the output schema, the description, whether it's a post or get API call. Now after getting the results, so this result provides a lot of context to the AI. Right now we have two APIs. One is the summary API, which is a get method, and another thing is a status API, which requires the PDF hash. Now let me run the executions. Now what the Claude AI is going to do is, it's going to generate an code to make a request to the summary endpoint, which we have provided in the search tool over here. So let's allow the execution tool to be executed. I don't know, for some reason it's making multiple execution tool call. Actually, this is how uh, the code mode can be implemented in the MCP servers. Like, you create just two tools, and with this you can implement a lot of tools. This reduces the size or the storage for the context window for the AI, so that AI can deal with all. It looks like running out of connections. The ABD servers local host is refusing the connections. This would means that the server is not running. Network issue. I don't know, for some reason it's failing, but this is how it works. Let me figure it out. Maybe I will create a better recorded videos. I'm facing some issues in OBS. I will soon catch you. Thank you.